we wanted to pass that along to you guys so you could have kind of a taste of what Woodford Reserve is about. We appreciate being a part of it. We're working on actually having the master distiller Chris Morris here for the final judging part of it. I know he's actually very interested in it. He actually has a base, and actually one of the things you go through when you come to a master distiller is you get kind of a beer base of how it's actually done in the process. So he's actually interested in it. So I wanted to do a couple things. One, there's some notes here, kind of a couple pages in terms of what Woodford Reserve is about in particular, and the importance of the barrel actually in the process. So you guys actually have a huge share of what Woodford's about and how it's actually processed. So there's a few notes here. A couple things, and I pointed out to the three of you before. One, the barrel, everybody ever tends to think that Woodford Reserve, you want to drink it straight on the rocks, maybe a splash of water. It is terribly, terribly mixable. There's 200 taste profiles. There's 200 taste characteristics that come out of Woodford. Scientifically, that's what comes out. We probably get 15 or 20 that you tasted that actually come out of it. But it makes for a really nice mixed drink in different cocktails, whether it be Manhattans down to things that are called bourbon balls and cosmopolitans, and ways now we tend to do it. So that bodes well for you guys using it with making a beer and the taste profile that's going to come out of the wood. As we talked about, as you say, you've heard that the barrel, the weight of the barrel increases so much because of the amount.
15 pounds.
Yeah, 15 pounds of absorbed alcohol that goes into the wood that's left in the wood characteristics. So that being said, that's really all I'm going to leave it. So when you look at this, there's some general notes about Woodford. There's some different cocktails, and then some of the taste characteristics that go into what Woodford's about. And then this last page here speaks to, and then there's one paragraph in particular that speaks to what's called honey barrels, and what is a big important process of Woodford and how barrel selection. Brown-Forman, who I work for, which we also in Jack Daniels, which I was saying pays most of my bills, is the only company that owns their own cooperage, which is the people that make the barrels. So Chris Morris actually goes in and hand selects the barrels to get the most premium American white oak for the barrel process. So that speaks a little bit more there. Just know on the fourth page, or on this third and fourth page, it mentions the master distiller being Lincoln Henderson. He was the first master distiller. He quickly passed it off to Chris Morris. So just so you know in your note part, that's there. So that being said, everybody gets some information about Woodford Reserve. Everybody gets a bottle compliment, and as I tell my wife, it's research. But it helps with the process.
Sacrifice ourselves for research.
Yeah, but I also tell my wife I got to get to know the other products too. So enjoy it. We're as I said, we're planning on penciled into Chris's calendar to be one of the judges for when you guys turn in the end results. So I think that would be great. We also are putting together a nice prize for whomever is the winner, courtesy of Woodford Reserve, which I think you guys really like. So that's really all. If there's any questions, it's really just about straightforward.
I do have a quick question. I'm from one of the smaller homebrew clubs around in North Gallagher, guys. So
you're gonna have to brew more.
Well, so we were originally gonna do it, but then we decided we couldn't do it right because we just couldn't make enough gallons to fill it with all the other entrants are trying to enter into the fair. So could I get maybe a stave or two and try to make some beer with the stave instead of a whole barrel? Because I think I could get the same character, but I'm only going to have maybe a 5-gallon volume or 10-gallon volume.
Bill, if you want to borrow some equipment.
I don't think we can do a whole barrel, but
that's
still get a
that's
barrel.
going to be up to you guys in terms of how the fairness of it. I can get you staves, is what I'm telling you.
Yeah, as far as that entering in Buck would need it.
Okay.
Maybe
we could do that, but I don't want it to go in with the knowledge that we couldn't fill a whole.
I would understand.
Part of the idea of the whole thing was the big brew session. This type of thing.
Well, I'll answer it from my end this way. I can get you staves of it.
Okay.
And I can have them sent to you, and if you write down on the back of this where you'd like it shipped, I can get it sent to you. in the spirit of the competition, that's up to you guys, but it would be a fun way to say, hey, I decided to do it this way in the essence of it. The same thing, we was just mentioning, we did a thing with the Master Still down at Harry and Izzy's a couple weeks ago for a dinner. You know, when I get the cookbook, we have a cookbook that's Woodford recipes that include Woodford in the spirit of the area. I do not ever tell a chef, this is how you should cook. You know, that's your way, how he uses it as inspiration to make the food recipes that night. And the same way you wouldn't tell Chris Morris how to make Woodford Reserve. I'm not going to tell you how to make your beer and how to incorporate it into it. If you, I mean, my thought would be is that's how you want to use it. You know, how long you're going to put it in the barrel, that's up to you. Whether it be a day or 3 months, you know, that's your process. So I'm not going to tell you what to do with it. So I think in the spirit of it, it could work if you want to use a couple staves of it and make it. If you want to write down your address,
I'm a big fan. We had the National Homework Conference in Cincinnati 2 years ago, and one of the pre-conference deals was we took a bus trip and we went down into Kentucky and we